try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin are still freaking defiant, and we didn't even get the full NASCAR Cup race underway. At the time of this show, Freak Nation, we've got a Monday start time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for the NASCAR Cup race. And who might just win the damn thing? We don't know, but we do know Crasher hanging out at Michigan International Speedway, actually right now hanging out in the hotel room there in Jackson, Michigan. She's got your insight from all the goings on in the media center Saturday and Sunday from Michigan International Speedway and the defiance of Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain. I could go on and on. Every driver was asked that came in the media center about what happened between Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, and they had an answer. They knew it was coming, except for one very popular driver many times over that just looked at Crasher and basically went, really? I'm not going to take that bait, but we'll get to that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'll be following us live on YouTube, and of course, right here on MAV TV. Your Statman Scat, talk a little bit about what happened Saturday night, Worldwide Technology Raceway for the IndyCar Series. Also coming up this hour, or actually next hour, we lost a good one, man. Scott Bloomquist, the greatest dirt track driver ever. We'll have one of his buddies checking in the second hour. Ida, here we go, Statman, Zetterstrom from Sweden. She'll be joining us this hour. Who, Crasher, Stat, Suave, did something, Statman, that not a whole lot of people have done. She beat Steve Torrance in her first round ever in the NHRA in Brainerd, Statman.
Said she never saw him.
Atta girl.
That's a lot of ghosting coming from the FIA top fuel champion. But what can I tell you?
She'll be joining us this hour. Did you see what happened again at Worldwide Technology Raceway? Saturday night, madness for the last 5 to 10 laps. We'll get to that. Also coming up, William Sawalich. What this guy's doing is certifiably bananas in the ARCA Series. Crasher, did I read where it was flag to flag? Springfield on the dirt mile Sunday afternoon?
That's actually a good question. I don't know that for a fact, but I would tend to go with you on that. We in the media center, we were outside, we were back inside, outside, back inside. I was just glad to be able to see that finish that, yes, William Sawalich, the first one across the line, and then Isabella and Taylor, two ladies on the podium with him too. That was a pretty historic finish in Central Illinois.
You know, that's not lost on me, Crasher, and it was flag to flag. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus with that one, but
wait, I hear audience noise.
Yeah, it's our audience cheering for the two ladies finishing on the podium
okay.
in the ARCA Series. Two women who aren't running the series full time, and if you're not familiar with the Springfield Mile in the ARCA Series, it's on dirt. The legend of the Springfield Mile is frankly has been set with flat track, two wheels, but ARCA Series has been running on there for a number of years, and William Sawalich wins the damn race, but two women finish at the top of the box. It's not lost on me, the importance of that, Crash.
No, it's huge. And it was Lee Spencer, myself, and many others in the NASCAR Media Center in Michigan International Speedway. And we were blown away. First of all, with, like you were alluding to earlier, with what William Sawalich is doing on General Tires in the ARCA Series, he just keeps winning. Mind you, Connor Zilic won the ARCA race on Friday here at Michigan. Another guy that just keeps on winning. It's just this next generation is incredible. But yes, to get back to the two ladies with Venturini Motorsports, it's, say what you will about the ARCA Series. I really don't care. These two ladies have put in the time and they showed their wares on track today. And like you said, on a very historic track, a dirt track that is not easy to drive. So they deserve every single props that they are given.
Freak Nation, again, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're there for it at speedfreaks.tv. You would expect this coming from every driver coming into the media center. And Crasher, what I want you to do is kind of run us through the madness that was Saturday and Sunday with these drivers. And again, with the hordes of NASCAR media there in the media center, what was the vibe from the majority of the drivers, knowing that you and everybody else was going to ask them about what happened between Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, the penalty, the appeal? They had to know it was coming.
And then also, well, not also, but the most asked question was probably, do you understand where the line is? Do you know where the line is when you have crossed it? Are you comfortable with that moving forward? And also people asking, do you have respect, or do you believe all the drivers can race each other with greater respect moving forward? Because a couple of the drivers, I believe it was Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin, alluded to the culture in the garage. There's a certain culture in the garage. You just have to abide by that. And clearly this finish was not perceived as abiding by that culture. We're talking about the Richmond finish last weekend. So yeah, there's a lot of drivers. I'd say about 50% of them say, yeah, we now know where the line is, because we know that you can't crash to win intentionally, because that is actions detrimental. That's detrimental to stock car racing. That's in the rule book. You intentionally barrel roll someone, you take them out of the race. That is too far. Can you tap them and spin them and go on to the win? Yes, because that is technically hard racing. So I'd say 50% of the drivers understood that. The other 50% were just like, I don't know. I don't know what's a tap and what's a spin, and what's going to be called is too hard or not hard enough. So there's still a lot of question marks in drivers' heads moving forward, but I'm going to go back. I don't know where you want to really go with this topic right now. I'm going to go back on NASCAR had to do something, because this could have gotten more and more out of control going forward if nothing was done, if they didn't put their foot down. So overall, I think making a call, removing the playoffs eligibility for Austin Dillon was the right move.
Statman, this incident happened just before we went live last Monday here in the Freak Nation. And you called it saying they've got to do something because it was so flagrant. And if they don't do something, the precedence that's set, it's no holds barred when it comes to finishes moving forward.
I think the next step that they're going to have, maybe next year, is an official in the booth at like a line judge or a referee at a football game, where somebody says, nope, that's out of bounds. You can't do that. And, it's an automatic 2-lap penalty or something, because they can't continue to have stuff. You got to wait 2 or 3 days to find out who won and who lost. That's a bit much. And somebody who's making billions of dollars every year should be able to have one guy in a box by himself that says that's out of bounds.
That was addressed by Elton Sawyer when the penalty announcements came down. What was that? After 5 p.m. or after 4 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. He had a small Zoom session with some media members. And in that, he was asked that very question. Are we going to be able to get this in real time moving forward? And he did say that is the goal because the fans deserve it.
Yeah, exactly, without question. As far as that's concerned, the stat man said what was going to happen on the show last week. Where they're going to let him keep the win, but they're going to take away all the points and everything else and kick him out of the playoffs.
Can you tell me if the Cleveland Browns are going to make the playoffs this year, so I can lay some dimes on that? Are the Browns going to make it to the playoffs this year, so I can lay some dimes on that?
No.
All right. Okay.
Your team, stat man.
Quarterback, and that's going to sour everything for the duration.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Richard C. Squabi, we have a number of sound bites from drivers that ran their butts through the media center, including Brad Keselowski talking about what?
Brad Keselowski here is talking about kind of what Crash was hinting at in terms of drawing this line in the sand moving forward.
I think they made as good an attempt as you could make to draw a line in the sand, but humans and life evolves, right? And we'll find some other piece, right? I don't think there's a way to have permanent solutions for everything that happens in life and sports, right? So I don't know what the next thing will be. I think everybody a couple years ago got a good kick out of Ross's move, and that was certainly an evolution of the sport, right? And NASCAR made it a point to make that kind of a one and done. And I think they're trying really hard to do that here. Something else I'm sure will pop up, as it always does. And that's part actually what makes the sport fun too, is seeing what new thing is going to pop up. We might not always agree with whatever it is, but I think it's unrealistic for anyone in the industry to expect NASCAR to know everything that's going to happen before it happens.
I really like that.
Yeah, Statman, I'm also glad you mentioned the referee in the booth kind of having this review in real time, because Denny Hamlin specifically mentioned that this week as well.
I certainly hope so. I certainly would love to see it.
Let's do this, Richie. Let's save that. Let's
go.
Let's,
it's a tease.
Yes.
We got to go pay bills.
Denny Hamlin and Austin Dillon will join us in the next segment talking about the penalty and the appeal. The appeal. My goodness. This is greatness.
From last week, because Mother Nature ruined us today.
Yeah, good
Come
point.
on.
All right, Freak Nation. Denny Hamlin and Austin Dillon next. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios.
I'm not a liar.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500, only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now, because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate, Illinois.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Nation, Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Do yourself a favor, Freak Nation. Go to lucasoil.com. Check out a line of products for this summer heat, summer wetness to keep your rides on the road. Go to lucasoil.com. Sometime between now and we get the heck out of here, we got to give some cred or some discussion with Will Power dropping the single bird, not the double bird, the single bird Saturday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway. It looked kind of odd, man. We're usually used to the double birds, but it was just a single bird that Will Power threw at his own teammate.
He dropped a quadruple verbal bird that the microphones couldn't pick up from the distance,
Right.
but they failed to block his lips when he threw it out there.
Oh, yeah. Twitter X had fun with that one today.
All right, Crasher, you want to give some Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes?
Yes, rain everywhere this weekend. But the race most affected by the wet stuff was the NASCAR Cup Series, where 51 of the 200 laps are in the books, but the other laps now being run on Monday starting at 11 a.m. The Xfinity Series went the full lot, actually over the full distance. And thanks to great pit strategy, Justin Allgaier was the class of the field. Get this nugget, though. With this Michigan win, his first at Michigan ever, by the way, this win is now the 25th of his career. He is now 10th on the Xfinity Series all-time wins list, and he just passed his team owner, Hall of Famer, Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's huge. The ARCA Series raced in Michigan Friday, then Springfield, Illinois Sunday. Friday's winner, Connor Zilich. Sunday, William Sawalich. We touched on this briefly. Of note there, two ladies joining Sawalich on the podium as Venturini teammates Isabella Robusto and Taylor Reimer, finished 2 and 3 on the day on General Tires. NHRA Lucas Oil Nationals were in Brainerd, Minnesota. Lucas Oil ambassador in his freshly new minted Top Fuel rail, Justin Ashley was the man of consistency en route to his third win on the season. Yeah, we had him on last weekend, so that's Speed Freaks mojo for the win. Blake Alexander bounced back from an engine blow-up in Sonoma to reach the winner's circle in the Midwest, and Dallas Glenn clearly loves the Brainerd atmosphere. He defended his win at the track with yet another Wally. Let's get to what Kenny wanted to talk about. Well, at least IndyCar. We won't talk about birds and Will Power just yet. But IndyCar ran Saturday night at one of our favorite tracks, WWT Raceway, in the Lou. And the refreshed track work, you got to give props where props are due. The refreshed track work and car setups were much more complimentary in the evening hours as well, to boot, as you all who watched got a great show. But how do we sort out this show? My friend at Field of 33 on X, he wrote it rather succinctly. Connor Daly's mad at Renus VK. Ed Carpenter's mad at Catherine Legg. David Malukas is mad at Will Power. Will Power is probably mad back at David Malukas. Will Power is also mad at his teammate, Joseph Newgarden. By the way, that was your race winner, the 5th time winning at WWT Raceway. Colton Herta is also mad at Joseph Newgarden. Alexander Rossi is probably mad at Joseph Newgarden. So who needs to watch? Will Power's throwing birds. And later on, this morning. Oh, there you go. Look at that friendly emoji bird there. And then Twitter has been blowing up with these drivers as Scott McLaughlin is now live tweeting Jersey Shore and Joseph Newgarden. What's this with his McDonald's? He's all about dogs and hash browns now. Who knew that he was even back on X? I thought he deleted everybody. We'll get to all that drama later. Motocross raced on the East Coast. Rain was also a challenge. Chase Sexton rode to his 5th straight 450 victory, and Levi Kitchen snagged his 3rd 250 overall win on the season. But above all of that, dominating the first moto, Hayden Deegan clinched the 2024 summer title with just 1 round remaining. Congrats, Hayden Deegan, on your championship.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com for more information on the products to keep your rides fat and happy. It's still tough for me to say X, especially when Crasher says he's back on X. He's back on X.
It sounds
the kids
kind of
nowadays.
It's just
What?
weird. It just sounds sexual. It's weird.
Oh, it doesn't? It's X is short for ecstasy, Crash.
Well, now it sounds like a drug.
That's the
Well, if
point.
you're going to say
Oh,
the Lou, we got. I don't care what people call it. I mean, we can't say the Lou. There's other. The Lou is other things to other people.
It's been strange for me too, but there are billboards all over the city. Only from the Lou, the
Yeah,
LOU.
that's their problem.
Richie?
Lay claim to Louisville?
Yeah, well.
Rabbit holes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
doing
right,
that,
exactly,
man.
exactly.
People
All right,
run-
Richie, get
run
us out of
across.
this. Let's go back to Denny Hamlin. We teased it.
All right, so we were talking about the throngs of NASCAR media who were hanging out at Michigan International Speedway. Didn't get us a race in, but my goodness, we got plenty of Q&A with the drivers talking about Austin Dillon, the punishment, the appeal. But Richie, Denny Hamlin made a guest appearance.
Yeah, speaking of Twitter, I just tweeted this clip out. So if you want to go see it again, you can go see it at Speed Freaks on Twitter. But going back to what you said in the first segment, Statman, about having some sort of race officials or stewards to make real-time calls during the race, which NASCAR did not do last week at Richmond for Austin Dillon, and they gave him the penalty on Wednesday. Denny Hamlin brought this up this week, and he basically said, I want to see more real-time calls, and he explained what other series do in this situation.
I think they made as good an attempt.
All right,
Hi,
Denny.
Brad.
Denny, ready for
I
this?
certainly hope so. I certainly would love to see it called in real time going forward. I think there's going to be an opportunity in a few weeks for NASCAR to perhaps use the bottom series to start to set precedents for us, to let people know that they're not going to put up with intentional wrecking for wins. I think that there's some incidences that have happened in the past that probably, if this is a new precedent, it could fall under those. I think, for instance, when I spun out Chase Elliott 2017, I would deem that as, while I know I didn't intentionally wreck him, I tried to move him out of the way, I intentionally made contact with him. So the result does matter. So I think that, I watched a Cars Tour race 3 times. Someone got put to the back for spinning. It's just an easy call. It really is an easy call, but you have to give the people in the tower liberty to do it. And hopefully we've created a new precedent where if you spin out the leader and in such an egregious manner, you get put to the last car and lead lap or whatever it might be.
I heard some people in the garage area this weekend equating Austin Dillon's intentional wreck, because we're trying to dumb this down for people so that they can better understand it, because it is still a little difficult to find that line in the sand that Brad Keselowski was alluding to. So we could equate this to something as egregious as a complete intentional wreck for the win could be like, not roughing the passer. What am I thinking of? Pass interference.
Yeah.
Pass interference in the NFL. If you don't think that penalty is going to be called past NASCAR, then you'll go in and do whatever you can to interfere with the pass and just be like, look at this. We're going to go win the game now, or we're going to go win this drive. But now that you know that a call will be made when something is so egregious, then you just know, just stay away from the pass interference, stay away from the intentional wrecking.
Then what do you do? I think and again, here are the gray lines. You do that again to a driver, you take that driver out that was going for the win. Where do you put the driver that committed that foul? The driver, Joey Logano, was out. Do you take Austin Dillon out?
What Denny Hamlin was suggesting there was, if someone is that egregious, that flagrant in taking somebody out, in real time, even if there's only 2 turns to go, in real time, it resets the field so that driver that committed the foul is placed at the back of the field, and then everything else sorts itself out.
Yeah, that's what they do at short tracks all over the country. If they take somebody out, you go back to the end of the longest line and deal with it.
Yep.
I just think, 20 years ago, I would have never said this. But Brad Keselowski makes the most sense. It's just as we just like in society, as we evolve, the rules change and the rules evolve. And that's what's happening with NASCAR. It's like the perfect example again was almost said the blind melon. What do the kids call it, Richie?
It's the hail melon.
The hail melon.
Mm-hmm.
Melon. No one predicted that until it freaking happened. And they changed the rules. Denny Hamlin talking about satisfaction, Richie. Is that right?
he was asked if he was satisfied with the penalties given to Austin Dillon.
I am. I mean, certainly in the moment, you wish that, well, you just take the win. Everything else fixes itself at that point instead of kind of having this kind of split decision. But as I understand it, there's some iffy language in the rule book that would, can you really go back and take a win this late in the game? But again, I think in the future, you just send whoever it is to the back, and it all fixes itself. You don't have to worry about taking off playoff eligibility and stuff like that.
There you go.
Ida Zetterstrom will be joining us in about 15 minutes. We'll hear from Austin Dillon next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate, Illinois.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Do what real freaks do and roll on General Tires. It is crap hot out there. In fact, shoot, it was Saturday night by 2:30 in the morning. Lightning just down the street from our house, about 2 inches of rain, and thank goodness we had a new set of General Tires on our hot rod the next morning because it was a little bit of flooding here in the Phoenix area. Yes, flooding in the desert. It happens, man. Rolling on General Tires. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com. Ida Zetterstrom will be joining us here in the Freak Nation. European Top Fuel champion who got her start this past weekend in Brainerd. First round, she beats multi-time NHRA Top Fuel champion Steve Torrance. Yeah, man, that same Swedish driver will be here in about 10 or 15 minutes here in the Freak Nation. William Sawalich will be joining us here. This guy is on a roll. I had to even write down everything he's done on a Post-it note. It's bananas.
It actually fit on a Post-it note?
Yes, right. 9 races, 6 wins, 8 top 5, 7 poles in the ARCA National Series. He'll be joining us next hour. And your stat man, Scat, as we get into some IndyCar conversation. All right, Crasher, before we get into Austin Dillon, was he made available at all to the media there at Michigan International Speedway?
Yes, he had a sponsor announcement today with Dow, and that was an amazing press conference, to be honest, because the media abided by his request when he said, guys, I really want to devote all of this time to my sponsor, Dow, and because we're in an appeal process, I'm not going to be able to answer what you want answered anyway. What I said to NBC Sports is pretty much all I'm able to say. So, yeah, he was made available, but for other reasons besides what has gone on over these past 6 days.
Wait a minute. Right. Dow Chemical, the makers of Agent Orange.
Oh, Statman. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, this segment brought to you by Not Dow here in the Freak Nation.
Come on. I learned a lot about Dow in that press conference, though. I did. They're doing a lot of their scientists are just supreme.
The man that blew up the NASCAR. Be on
go.
Next year.
All right, Statman, you can email him at richardcswaby@gmail.com. All right, so Austin Dillon was on with Marty and McGee, friends of the Freak Nation, Ryan McGee and Marty Smith on ESPN, which his response to the questions were similar to what you saw on NBC. But this audio and video is from Marty and McGee. Dillon with Marty and McGee talking about what they hope to achieve with the appeal.
The biggest thing is to be able to state our case. Feel like a lot of people and a lot of people in the industry have given their opinion, and we have been celebrating our win, enjoying the fact that the 3-car was the fastest car at Richmond this past weekend, had a 3-second lead with 2 laps to go. And with that appeal, obviously we deserve to be in the playoffs. And we want to reverse that decision that NASCAR has made to take our playoff eligibility away. And we feel like we have a case to stand on. And, you know, we've been in the sport as long as anyone. And NASCAR forever, you know, you look at the landscape of it, decisions were made by NASCAR. And now with the new landscape, at least of what we've heard is, you know, industry stakeholders' opinions were taken into account this past week. And it's interesting for sure because for us, you know, we were waiting a decision that came out on Wednesday. And, you know, it's a different dynamic now. So we've got to do a very good job. We owe it to RCR, all of our partners, to do a very good job in this appeal process. And that's what we'll do.
In that soundbite and in another soundbite, I don't think we have from Ross Chastain that was part of the media center. There is a slight, they're alluding to, I'm just going to be flat out. I'm going to tell you how I'm reading between the lines here. Denny Hamlin and his podcast, it's a very popular podcast. NASCAR listens to Denny Hamlin and his podcast and other, Kevin Harvick, his podcast, Dirty Mo Media's, all of their podcasts. And whether it was Ross Chastain or Austin Dillon there's an indication that maybe NASCAR was, wink, wink, listening to some of these podcasts that helped them to this decision. And they're not. Austin, Ross Chastain, they're not wrong at all. They listen. You kidding me? Roger Goodell, you know he listens to folks outside of the snorkelers that are the owners. It happens. Austin Dillon was asked about how he feels about what people say about Austin Dillon. A lot of folks didn't have some kind words to say about Austin Dillon. Silver spoon, playing off his granddaddy's money. Austin Dillon, again on Marty and McGee, about handling what people say about Austin Dillon.
It starts with my faith in the Lord and the family that I've got around me. My grandfather, I grew up in a family that was very controversial with Dale Earnhardt Sr. going to the track every weekend, and a lot of people.
And again, this is his answer. I promise you, I'm not mixing up my sound bites, but he was asked about how he handles people talking about him.
It starts with my faith in the Lord and the family that I've got around me. My grandfather, I grew up in a family that was very controversial with Dale Earnhardt Sr. going to the track every weekend, and a lot of people disliked Dale for a long time. And that narrative changed over time, and you could see the intimidator and the love that he was able to endure from all of his fans. And for me, we went through a lot of stuff as a kid, going to the racetrack, Dale always getting into something. And my grandfather, I'm proud to be his grandson because he never backs down. He never will. And he's one of those guys that's going to be up on the hauler till his last breath, watching these races and being a part of it for his race team because he loves this game and this sport.
So he didn't fully address it, is what you're getting at, Kenny.
You know what, Marty? You know what, Ryan? I don't give a damn. The moment I walk in that door and see my beautiful family, my wife, my grandfather, my father, I don't care what people think about me. No, goes and talks about Dale Earnhardt Sr. Just say.
You know where he's going, though. He's trying to make the comparison to how Dale was once hated, and he's now feeling like he's hated. He's just making a comparison.
Well, sad man, you and Wilt Chamberlain have some similarities. You don't.
If you ever sit next to him and talk to him, the similarities disappear quickly.
I'm a black man, and me and Wilt Chamberlain,
Yeah, I didn't. That day at the Los Angeles Coliseum, I didn't walk up and say, "Hey, Wilty, me and you, partner, we got so much in common. Let's have a conversation."
I have a hell of a jumper. I can dunk the ball in the goals at 5 foot. A technique that Crasher, you don't compare yourself to Dale Earnhardt.
Okay, but he was trying.
Kenny, you drive a Chevrolet. That's where the comparison stops right there with Dale Earnhardt.
That's about all he has in common with Dale Earnhardt is he's got a 3 on his car. It stops there.
Oh boy. Well, and again, when we aired this show, doing it live Sunday night on the Freak Radio Network, and of course, the new episode airs on MAV TV noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. The NASCAR race hopefully will be going on, and will some of the drama carry over until next Sunday? Because my goodness, it's done a hell of a job for the last 7 or 8 days.
Well, the appeal is this week, correct?
Yeah.
This is not ending.
Mm-mm.
By the way, Kenny, you asked me to look up the history of NASCAR appeals during the break. I found a couple instances of appeals working and penalties being overturned. One was in 2023. Do you guys remember the Hood Louvers conversation from 2023? Do you remember that? Hendrick Motorsports was originally docked 100 points, all of its drivers, for infringing upon the new next-gen car.
That was in Phoenix.
That was in Phoenix, yes. And they the appeal was overturned by the appeals board, and so the penalties of the 100 points were all rescinded and removed. And so all the drivers moved up in the standings afterwards. Also in 2022, William Byron was docked 25 points for an incident under caution with Denny Hamlin. However, that penalty was later amended on appeal and no points was deducted, and he was later fined just $100,000. So there is a little bit of history with appeals being accepted and penalties being overturned each of the last 2 seasons. So maybe this is our appeal that gets overturned this year.
So you're saying there's a chance. Freak Nation, we're going drag racing with a European Top Fuel champion who made her debut in Brainerd and kicked some freaking ass. Ida Zetterstrom will be joining us next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for a professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. Dragging your knee at 100 miles per hour, doing a double jump with some extreme flair. If you're into two-wheel racing, make a standing date for Tuesday night on MAV TV. Two-Wheel Tuesday will showcase the world's best motorcycle racers on the most challenging tracks. Whether it's the treacherous high-speed ballet of road racing or the handlebar-to-handlebar combat of the dirt arenas, MAV TV has your two-wheel fix every week on Two-Wheel Tuesday.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. 2 action-packed days of racing on the most exciting track in racing. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism in Discovertown State, Illinois.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Freak Nation. Her name is Ida Zetterstrom. She is a top fuel champion from Europe. She's from Sweden. She's a badass. What does she do? She debuts in the top fuel car, running with Tony Schumacher and his team, and beats Steve Torrence in her first round. Incredible. She's a great interview. We caught up with her earlier. Ida Zetterstrom joining us now, Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios. You look at your career, you've got a European Top Fuel Championship. Can you explain to the Freak Nation what the difference is in that versus, again, I know I'm not stupid. I'm just trying to, again, get people up to speed here. Yeah. We know what NHRA means to people outside of the United States that run drag racing. I mean, it's important that you have that.
Yeah, so for me, of course, that's where I learned to drive these cars. And there is differences. Of course, NHRA is the biggest stage in the world. We have the biggest drivers in the world here, and also world-class tracks and a longer series, a longer schedule, and a lot more driving. And obviously bigger budgets, bigger teams. Everything is basically bigger here in US. And this is where that is as the highest, but over in Europe we still have really good drivers, really good teams. Even if it's lower budget teams, we have good tracks. We have a more variation of tracks, so to say. Some tracks are really high standard and I would say are similar to some of the tracks over here, while other tracks are tracks that we only run at once a year. And it could be a road course track where we utilize the straightaway or so on, and they set it up. So definitely over here, like the consistency of the tracks and the track prep and all that is a lot more consistent over here, since NHRA is doing that on all the circuit. So that is the difference. But car wise, most of the cars in Europe are cars that are from US. It's just run them over here and then they've sold them and they've ended up in Europe. So usually a little older. The car that I won the championship with and ran over in Europe, it was 10 years old, and that was still a fairly young car, so to say, for Europe. But the regulation is basically the same in Europe. We base our regulation and our rule book on NHRA's rule book. So the only difference can be that sometimes if there's some smaller rule changes coming into NHRA, it takes a year or two before it makes its way to Europe, basically. If it's not a big safety rule, then they usually implement it right away.
So you're churning 11,000 horsepower in Europe as you are in your top fuel car this afternoon at Brainerd.
Yeah, so basically in Europe, I would say we have a little less horsepower, not like significant like that, but maybe in Europe we still talk about 11,000 horsepower, and over here we talk about 12,000 nowadays. We run usually a little older setup or older parts in Europe. Not all teams and not all the time, but with the tracks not always being as good as they are over here, it can sometimes benefit of running a setup that might be a little older, so to say, from over here. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like stepping on the loud pedal and everything you do, like your routines are basically exactly the same. It buyers more from like your team. Like now, for example, this car is a canopy car, so I have some other things on my routine here that I did not have in Europe, but that's not because it's a European car or a European track. It's just because it's a difference between how the teams run the cars and what type of cars they have.
Ida Zetterstrom is the European FIA top fuel champion. Let me ask you a couple of basic questions. You said that things get a year or so away from going overseas. Were you running at 1,000 feet or at 1320?
We were running at 1,000 feet. So nitro classes over there run at 1,000 feet. So it's the same as over here. Yeah.
So your speeds are approximately the same, and the ET, the lapse time, is about the same for the top cars like yours?
The ET, so I have the European ET record, is at 377. So of course over here we are quicker at some of the really quick tracks, but we also see some of the tracks this time of year where you're running those numbers. So that basically comes down most to track, and you usually see lower speeds in Europe, and oftentimes that is because the tracks just aren't as well prepped basically on the top end. So on, we are usually very strong up until the 8 mile, and then I would say that the tracks feel like they're a little looser at the top end. Over in Europe, I had the European speed record of 321 miles per hour over there, but I actually had one of my old teammates took it from me last week.
Ida Zetterstrom joining us here in the Freak Nation, top fuel pilot in the NHRA. I know that sounds pretty sweet to you, Ida. You're running with Tony Schumacher, who's had his share of race wins and championships. And I don't expect you to freaking hammer on the boss or your teammate, but have there been disagreements over suggestions that he's made running the Top Fuel car?
No, I would say basically me and Tony are not trying to, replicate each other and run. He knows I have my way of running and he has his way of running. I think it might have been different if I was brand new and he was, teaching me how to drive. But I come in with my experience and I know a lot of how I like it to feel in the car and how I want the car to set up. And the same way that he has done this for a long time and he knows exactly how he is used to driving and how he's used to feeling. So for me, we have not tried to do that much going into the actual driving of the car. We have more talked about things that can show up on race day that I'm not used to. And like this morning I asked him if he had any advice for me, or sometimes he knows that some of these guys out here, they do something on the starting line or whatever it might be that I have no clue about, and that's a part where he can let me know that, hey, watch out for this or whatever it is. And that's more of that dynamic we have had. And of course, I've had a lot of fun spending time with Tony's team this whole season, being at all the events, helping them out with I've done fuel and just helped out with stuff like that because I have a hard time sitting still. But it's been great to be able to see all that. And of course, Tony has shared sometimes when you come to a track, he can come in and he can let me know that, like, hey, at this track, for example, it's leaning a little outwards at this end, like come and look at this, and stuff like that has been very helpful.
Wow, they call Tony Schumacher the Sarge here, and that means he's got a lot of military and a lot of demanding. So I hope he doesn't step over the line there. But let me ask you this. The NHRA here in the United States is the most diverse of all motorsports here in the United States. We've had female champions in practically every category. Has that made your appearance here that much easier, that they're used to women winning championships even in all the categories here in the United States?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall seeing women succeed and do so well in drag racing in all classes, basically, I think it helps to show how strong we are out here and that the sport, like you say, is so diverse. It doesn't matter if you're literally 18 years old or if you are 75, you can be out here, you can be competitive and you can win. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, where you're from. Like, this is, if you're a good driver, the race car does not know what you look like. That's basically what it is. And I feel like all the teams out here are very welcoming to diversity. And I feel like having had women before me, showing that, of course, this can be done, it helps not only for me as a driver to see that, but for talking to sponsors and everything. It is, girls aren't out here just competing. We're out here winning races, taking names and dominating. And that's what helps when you are trying to show that, hey, this is a sport where we belong, because you can literally point at it and, just count the names up that have, taken championships and done great things in sports.
Ida, I'm curious. You're from Sweden. No joke, Kenny. You're Swedish. And I'm curious, the opinion on women in sports there versus where we are. You have two women that finished on the podium in the ARCA Series on the Springfield Mile this weekend. You've got Catherine Legg, who is running the IndyCar race at Worldwide Technology Raceway on Saturday night. Is it a thing in Sweden when women succeed in male sports, or have you gotten past that to where you're right? The car doesn't know if it's a man or a woman. Just suck it up. It's a person.
Well, I can tell you this. Last year in Top Fuel, 1, 2, and 3 in the championship were girls. The only thing I disliked with that in Top Fuel Dragster was that it looked like it was a women's class when we three shared the podium. It looked like there were no boys there, but the fact was that we just beat all the other boys. So it's like, yes, there's a lot of good women in drag racing. We were basically 50-50 almost last year in Top Fuel, which I think says a lot. The only place where I have raced where it hasn't been as many women was when I raced the bikes. When I came into Super Street Bike that I raced before this, and also did a race in Pro Street Bike over here in US, many times I was the only woman, and if I wasn't the only woman, it could have been one, or it had been one previously or so on, but I was very alone there. So the first time I won there, I was the first woman to ever win in that class. When I won that championship, I was the first woman to ever win that championship. And we had a lot of first as a woman when I raced the bike, but on the car scene, there's been so many good women out there dominating.
Freak Nation, it's good to get her in here for the first time. Ida Zetterstrom joining us here in the Freak Nation. It's not going to be the last. Crasher and yours truly will be out at Indy doing our thing, and we'll swing by and say hello to you.
Sounds great. Looking forward to see you there.
And I'm sincere about that, man. To go out there and beat Steve Torrence in your first round is extremely badass. More on Austin Dillon, William Sawalich, and more coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
Summer is finally here. Cookouts, pool parties, and rising gas prices. Time to start using Lucas Fuel Treatment. Lucas Fuel Treatment improves mileage, increases power, and lowers emissions. It's a virtual tune-up in a bottle. Just pour it directly into the tank for a dramatic improvement in the performance of your vehicle. Good for gas and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. Get it now at your local auto parts store.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Dragging your knee at 100 miles per hour. Doing a double jump with some extreme flair. If you're into two-wheel racing, make a standing date for Tuesday night on MAV TV. Two-Wheel Tuesday will showcase the world's best motorcycle racers on the most challenging tracks. Whether it's the treacherous high-speed ballet of road racing or the handlebar-to-handlebar combat of the dirt arenas, MAV TV has your two-wheel fix every week on Two-Wheel Tuesday.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
try again.
Live on the Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Freak Nation, coming up this hour, a stock car driver in a big boy and girl series doing things that only drivers in the Cup Series dream about. He'll be joining us coming up this hour. Crasher still checking in from Jackson, Michigan, her snappy little hotel after hanging out all day, all weekend at Michigan International Speedway. Statman, Suave, yours truly, Kenny Sargent. Thank you guys for hanging out. Last hour had a whole lot of conversation regarding the penalty and the appeal with Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin. Brad Kozlowski chimed in. We'll get to some of that coming up this hour. Your Statman Scat will be this hour. We've got to get to some of this conversation about IndyCar and Will Power dropping the single bird, not the double bird, but the single bird in St. Louis. There it is. If you're watching us on YouTube or MAV TV, you'll see that the middle finger is covered up because all the damage it would do to children right about now. They saw that Will Power was dropping the bird. Will Power, you know what that's like? Will Power dropped the bird at his teammate Joseph Newgarden because of Joseph Newgarden's little janky restart at the green. Push, pull. He wasn't real secure with his teammate, Joseph Newgarden, in that start. And Will Power, bam, he goes out. A couple of other drivers as well. Rossi was up in the air. And
Rossi went into the rear of Will Power. He basically just rammed him, and that's how he got airborne. And then, Grosjean was involved because of that. Yeah, it was.
Right. Well,
sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Let's don't bury the lead here. The lead is Will Power hops out of his car, jumps onto pit road where the cars are coming back around, and his teammate, Joseph Newgarden, who, according to Will Power and other drivers, caused that melee, that pileup, he hops over the wall and gives the bird to his teammate. Okay? You know what that reminds? Let's just say it's the National Football League, and Kyler Murray is your quarterback, Arizona Cardinals, and Kyler Murray goes a touchdown to win the game. But there's a holding penalty on one of his offensive linemen. What if Kyler Murray just goes up to his offensive lineman and gives him the bird on national television?
How dare you hold on that play?
Nope.
Yeah, well, Newgarden said he didn't do anything wrong, and we all know Newgarden's not a liar.
Joseph Newgarden's that man?
I'm not a liar.
Right.
There it is.
But I'm not a liar.
Will Power with the bird to his teammate, and what's the gentleman's name? Dillon with NBC Peacock.
Yeah, Dillon
Welch.
Mm-hmm.
Dillon Welch. There's video of him, Richie.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty easy. You can catch Will Power. So Dillon Welch went up to him to try and grab an interview after the incident, and you can clearly see on the NBC telecast Will Power dropping a not so nice word that we can't say on these airwaves to Dillon Welch.
Dillon Welch said that Will Power called him and apologized profusely about what transpired.
Knowing we've got a pretty good relationship with Will Power, so go ahead.
Wait a minute. Will Power didn't have his blankie with him, and that was a problem. The little brown bear or whatever it is blanket.
Oh, yes.
He didn't have it with him. So that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to recreate how it takes him to scratch his blanket to get him peace when he has a problem.
We've got a good relationship with Will Power, and I love that he has a fiery temper. I love to be honest, any athlete that has a fiery temper, but who also knows, hey, I made a mistake. It was in the heat of the moment, and is willing to apologize for that. That's willpower to a T, and I appreciate him doing that.
Look, I don't know how. Okay. Perfect example. Sitting at a red light, I get rear-ended by another car. And let's say that Channel 5 News is right there on the corner. They give me 15 seconds. I hop out of the car, and they want to interview me about that wreck. How am I going to handle it?
You're going to mother F them?
I'm going to mother F everybody within 100 yards of me.
Exactly.
Now, if I go into Starbucks there on the corner, have a cup of Joe, and 30 minutes later, my demeanor is going to be a little less dramatic. But as soon as I hop out of the car, and I'm not talking about what the freaking Indy car worth, $500,000, $500,000, whatever. You okay.
The engine is that.
Okay, no, it's not. You whatever. Man, we are rabbit hole central today, aren't we? I tank a car like Will Power did. I don't know. I might just start flipping off the old lady. I might go up and turn 3 or 2, 1 and just start flipping people off and throwing stuff at people.
Is there a turn 3 in Starbucks? Is that what you're saying?
No, if I was Will Power, we've talked about this, a cooling off period for some of these guys. And I'll raise my hand. I'm the guy too, and Crash that's right. We didn't have a finished race on Sunday. I'll be out there on the grid as soon as the drivers get out of their car, jamming a microphone and a freaking camera in their face. Hey, why did so-and-so punch you into the wall? Well, Kitty, I'm glad you asked. I was going to send some thank you notes to my lovely children. I was just thinking about my wife and how I made sweet love to her last week there, Kenny.
Come on.
No, let's give these guys a little downtime to chill.
And that is where motorsports is unique in the entire spectrum of sports in general. But if you think about it, though, football players, as they're coming off the field, if something awful just happened, they have mics in their face, but it's a little different than when you've just gone 200 miles an hour and things are a little sketchy.
Richie, who's my guy? My guy with San Antonio Spurs.
Your guy with the San Antonio Spurs. Are you talking about Wemby?
No, not Wemby. Talking about my coach.
Oh, Kerr.
Craig Popovich, yeah.
Popovich. Oh, yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
I love it when ESPN or TNT would put a mic in his face before, during, and after, and he would give that look of like, really? You're coming to me asking a question about my zone, and you want me to answer that in the middle of a damn regular season basketball game? Not a playoff. But we're putting microphones in drivers' faces after 200 miles per hour for 3 and 4 hours, expecting them to make all kinds of sense with a question. On lap 136, when you passed Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin was a lap down, there's no way I could answer that.
Why didn't you throw a watermelon at him?
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should start a trend of just asking just completely gonzo type questions that are just so off the rails to where you either get a laugh or you get punched in the face.
We did that. It was 24 years ago when we first started. And remember, it took us a while to get hard cards.
Well, we had a character on the show at the time was asking a world champion female athlete about what she wore underneath her freaking fire suit.
That was before the show even got going. Yes, our future was doomed.
Oh boy, I don't even know how this conversation started, Freak Nation, but my goodness. Oh, it started because of Will Power dropping the freaking single bird, not the double bird, at his teammate, Joseph Newgarden, who went on to win the race at Worldwide Technology Raceway Saturday
and honestly,
night.
When did Joseph get back on social? And he's responding to people. He's actually being funny. He's doing a good job of just talking to the haters. When did this happen? And why did I not know it until this morning?
The guy spins. He does a 180 coming out of 2 during the race at Worldwide Technology Raceway and somehow finds a way to win the damn thing. That's why when some of the announcers were talking about, I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Kirkwood or another driver talking about that. Might as well give it up. And they're like 120 laps to go. Come on. It's a freaking Indy car. Which, by the way, coming up in about 15 minutes, your stat man Scat has everything to do with IndyCar. And we're going to launch into a conversation, about that race. Like we just did for the last 10 minutes. About that race coming up.
It was a conversation about the bird, not the race.
True. We went from birds to
microphones.
A guy, San Antonio Spurs, Steve Kerr, Crasher. Come on, man.
I know. What the hell? I don't know why I said that. Yeah. No, obviously.
He only won what? 4 championships with Golden State, Richie?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Right. Attaboy. All right, Freak Nation. Coming up next, we have a driver that he's doing things in the ARCA Series, the National Series, that Cup drivers, Xfinity Series drivers, and NASCAR Truck Series drivers only wish they could dream about what he's doing. 6 wins, 8 top 5s, and how many races? 9. It's bananas. William Sawalich. Looking forward to getting him here in the Freak Nation. He joins us next, right here, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios and on MAV TV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add 1 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. 1 bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race, it's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500, only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now, because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio redefined.
Freak Nation. Richie, how's that graphic doing right about now? Thanks, sir. Freak Nation, 9 races, 6 wins, 8 top 5, and 7 poles. That's what your part-time ARCA Series driver is doing right now. William Sawalich. Dude is a madman. He's on a tear. Crasher, I believe, alluded to it earlier last hour. These younger drivers, Conor Zilic himself, Jesse Love, are absolutely bananas for what they're doing. He joins us now after he wins his Springfield Mile on Dirt race. It's William Sawalich. Now, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. These aren't normal numbers, William. Where did this, when we met you in Phoenix, Rooster, we didn't know who William Sawalich was. Now we know who he is, and the dude can drive a race car. Where did this madness and these numbers come from?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a great team behind me. My Joe Gibbs Racing team just really helps me along the way. And my sponsor, Starkey Sound Gear. I mean, I just got a lot of support from behind. And obviously, I got a car that can win every weekend, and I make the most of it. I try every weekend, that is. So, I mean, it's really cool just to have this opportunity and compete in so many races and be up front and be able to win these.
One of the fascinations that we have with ARCA Series drivers, and Stat could back me up on this, is you guys seem so mature for your age and also humble, and you're very humble. You could drive a damn race car, man. I don't care if it's Joe Gibbs or Joe Blow. You could drive a damn race car, man. Give yourself some credit.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I try and be as humble as possible. Never really want to be too full of yourself, because the higher the pedestal, the higher the fall, right? But, I mean, I just try my best every race, and that's really all I can do.
Where did you learn all this from? I mean, whether it's a cliche saying that is so damn true, or it's just you defaulting to the team. Where did you learn this? Is this from family? Is this from PR? Is it a little bit of both?
Definitely family. I feel like, I mean, I grew up just in a humble family. My grandfather's really humble. I've always been taught never to show off, just always keep it to yourself, and I feel like that's really all I need. I don't really need the attention, let's say.
But when you're with your friends, you like to show off a little bit, right? I mean, no cameras are around or anything. It's just you and your buddies.
I mean, kind of, but yes. Yeah, I agree.
What do you and your friends do for fun? I mean, to get away from the racetrack, or do you need mental breaks like that often yet?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always like a mental break. It's always nice. But sometimes maybe too long of a mental break, like 2 weeks off, you kind of get out of a rhythm. But maybe a break later on in the day, I'll go surfing with one of my friends on Lake Norman. We'll go on the surf boat and just kind of relax and surf. That's what I like to do right now.
Ooh, is there video of that?
Yeah, I have a few. Mostly are falls, but
hell yeah, they are.
Yeah, I can get a 360 though, so that's the best part.
Wow.
Stay humble. Don't brag, Sawalich. Don't brag, okay? Stay humble.
Just keep the 360s on water, not on the racetrack. That's all.
Exactly. Good. That's a good one.
William Sawalich, we're talking about humility. I'll bet you under that racetrack at Elko last weekend, there wasn't a lot of humility when you were banging fenders with the guy going for it. And all 3 guys, 3 wide, all 3 of you got sideways going to the finish. Wasn't a lot of humility then, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had to take that one. I had no other option. I really wanted to win that one. It's obviously a home track race. I grew up racing across the street at Little Elko in quarter midgets, and I got my first legend car win there in 2020 at Elko. So, I mean, there's just a lot of memories there, and I wanted to win that race last year, and I felt like it got taken from me. So we got redemption this year, and there was really no other option besides winning that race. So it was really special to do that. And before that, we had a really, really fast Starkey Sound Gear Toyota Camry, and honestly thought we had it won, even though it was halfway. And that's where you kind of got to be humble. Even though we had the fastest car, still got taken out and still had to come from the back. So it's honestly a great learning experience for me.
So that last lap in the backstretch, when you were working your way to the front, you stick your chest out a little further and say, I dare you to take this from me?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. That's kind of what you got to do. I knew once I got clear of the 6, I knew I kind of left the bottom open, but the top was definitely the way to go, just judging off the speed. But that just left an opening for him, and he saw it and he took it. I mean, I don't blame him at all. It's the last lap.
What flips the switch for you? Is it just putting on the helmet that nice boy William turns into badass driver? What flips the switch? Is it mid-race?
I mean, I would say the first halfway, like I'm kind of too calm almost. But I mean, it's kind of good to be calm in the first part of the race just to save your tires, keep heat out of the car. I mean, especially if you've got a really good car, like it's easier to be calm. But say your car's not doing what you want, you kind of got to manhandle it. You got to make it do what you want. And usually whenever anybody like hits me or anything on the track, then I get a little angry, and then, I'll retaliate, and just whatever they do to me, I'll do to them. I'll really never instigate.
Hey, Stat, I know you want to ask one more question, but you brought up, I want to show the video, and I want to get his reaction to the video of him running against LeVar Scott. We usually just have drivers tell us about it, but as you're watching this video, I hope that you can tell us what you're going through, where your hands are, your head, your feet, what you're thinking with LeVar Scott to get that win. This is, I believe, with one lap to go with you and LeVar Scott at ARCA Speedway.
Here comes LeVar Scott back to the inside. Gotcha!
Yeah, right there.
Moves him up the track. The 6 and the 18. One lap.
Right on his door.
Say that again?
I did not expect him to dive in there on that right there. Maybe the last corner, but that was honestly more aggressive than the last lap dive. So that got me fired up. So then right here.
Okay, let's watch this.
To go and Elko. There's going to be more contact right here. Scott on the inside. Sawalich on the outside. Bumping and banging down the backstretch. Off the turn. Sawalich sideways. 3 wide. 3 sideways at the line.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So turn 1 and 2 on that last lap, I just held it right on his door, didn't give him any room. We were like door to door through the whole corner, just connected, and gave us the space on exit. I got a decent run off. He honestly got a better run. I think he beat me back to the throttle, and going off into 3 and 4, I knew I didn't want to dive it off in there because I knew that's what he was going to do. And I didn't want to try and come off the corner even though that's what happened. So I backed the corner up a little bit. My nose got to his door, and then I jumped in the throttle earlier to try and get my momentum rolling before him. And then next thing I know, he's up on my door, saw my momentum out. So then I just hold it to the floor, and whatever happens, happens.
Now, Freak Nation, did you notice, excuse me, that description of about 2 minutes probably was about 3/4 of a second on the racetrack?
Yes.
What that went through your mind?
Yeah.
Humility going on there, partner. That's it's me and you, and it's mostly me at this point. That's got to be what's under your helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely happens, not fast, but slow. Yeah, in my head. I felt like I had a lot of time to think about things. I mean, maybe at a different track it would have been different, but I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's just like whenever you get in a wreck or something, like everything happens slow. Like it slows down, and then you see the replay, and you're like, wow, okay, I hit pretty hard. And sometimes you don't really realize how fast it is. And just from a fan's perspective, like it's cool to see. And I mean, it's just crazy.
I love that. I've talked to drivers who described a 1.5 seconds for 7 minutes and all the stuff that's going through their mind. And that's full speed ahead. I mean, I would imagine the same thing is happening when you're all alone on the racetrack. You've won 4 or 5 straight poles in ARCA. And I think on this Elko is like 3/8 of a mile, and you get almost 94 mile an hour average for the pole. That's, you're not lifting a lot, and you're not thinking about anything but getting there as fast as I can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, usually like when I have to get a lot of speed out of the car, like I try not to think, just do, honestly. And just
wait, I'm cutting you off here for a purpose. Did that come from some meeting that you had with Joe Gibbs? That sounds like something he'd tell a running back when he was with the Washington NFL team.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that might be why I'm here. But no, I mean, I just I just have always done that from the beginning. And it's honestly the best just to let like your talent kind of take away. And sometimes if you think too much, then you'll just mess up.
What did I tell you, Freak Nation? The guy is humble as he can be.
Yeah. He's good dude. When was it? Okay, we started having ARCA.
We got a break in 10 seconds.
Well, never mind. We've had ARCA winners on for a while, and again, all fabulous interviews.
Solid. Freak Nation, your Statman Scat, IndyCar. Problems or not when your drivers are dropping birds? That's next. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Saturday night's IndyCar race at Worldwide Technology Raceway was a wonderful show. New guys are at the front of the field, new ideas. They played a part in race strategy, and that meant there was drama and tension about who was going to win. Some of that drama and tension might have been born in the 3-week Olympic break for NBC. Podium finisher Linus Lundqvist put it perfectly. Before that, it was flat out since the end of April. He said he never had time to go back and look at what he had learned. Everything was a push to get ready for the next race next week. I hope that's not lost on IndyCar's decision makers. The push to make money can't supersede the need to put on a good show to attract fans so money can be made. The same with NASCAR. You can't put on race after race without taking a break to learn what works and what doesn't. Otherwise, you'll end up with drivers so immersed in winning that they'll crash into other drivers to get into the spotlight by whatever means necessary. Flat out looks good, but the Coyote went flat out to catch the Roadrunner. Now, how'd that usually work out? Peace.
Your Statman Scat brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com to check out a line of tires to keep your rides on the road, especially in this big old freaking summer heat. Go to generaltire.com. I don't care if you got yourself an F-250 or a Mach-E Mustang. Go to generaltire.com. Playing off the Statman Scat, Crasher, what all did, and again, we've got Chris Blair, VP, General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway, coming up next segment. Talk a little bit about the race and about the legend, Scott Bloomquist. We lost Friday morning from a plane accident. The GOAT, as they call him on dirt. Chris Blair will be joining us to talk about that and, of course, the race. What specifically, do you know what specifically they did to the racetrack at Worldwide Technology Raceway? Because it was just good.
I don't know specifically. This is something that we will ask Chris Blair about. But what I do know, putting some puzzle pieces together via social media today, was that, the gentleman, I'm just going to say, Jay Fry took some matters into his own hand and said, I know how to make this race better. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And he did. And now look at the product. It was great. There were multiple grooves of racing. There were well, aside from the last one, the restarts were better. There was just, the product was better. What were the stats that I showed you guys earlier? There were 676 on-track passes, and that's the most at this track since 2017. Among those, 254 were for position. 115 passes were in the top 10. 21 lead changes were also the most in the total of 16 races, IndyCar races, I should say, at WWT Raceway. So the track preparation, whatever it was that they did, the VHT, whatever it was to help with additional grooves of racing and then some, it worked. Let's keep doing it.
Statman, for a Joseph Newgarden to spin on the track, calls a caution. He didn't go full 360, but he went $180. For him to spin on the track and still be in contention to win the damn race, something was working.
His strength is on the ovals. Excuse me, and he had a good run there at the end. Beat out his teammate McLaughlin. His crew got him out of the pits. Tire change and all in less than 6 seconds. Tire change and fuel, and that I think he beat the other team, his teammates, by about half a second or something. Got him out first, and had that weird start, the last restart, and he won the race.
So many sidebars to this conversation we could have. One, you brought up Joseph Newgarden's 6-second pit stop, tires, splash and go. His left front tire changer, Caitlin Brown, I believe is her name, just destroyed, and in a good way. Bam! They say she's one of the best tire changers in IndyCar, and you watched her help get Joseph Newgarden in and out of that pit stop. It's the only reason you would know that she's a girl is with her ponytail. And you know who brought it up? It's my daughter.
The storyline was she was working in the shop and wanted to be outside, to travel to the events. So she's been with the crew for 2 years now. I think this is in the middle of her second season, and she is doing the job. Obviously, yesterday the pit people got him a win, got him a significant win, and an important win over a teammate. And both of them are at Penske Racing, and the Penske and along with Ganassi and sometimes Andretti, they're the class of the field.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, she was in the shop on the NASCAR side of things with Team Penske. And when she said, hey, yeah, I do want to go out on the road, they vaulted her up into the IndyCar side of things. And the rest is history. Joseph wins the Indy 500 last year, May of 2023, and she became a national hero.
She's badass. Rich, I've got a soundbite here from Connor Daly I want to get to. But before I forget, Richie, which I tend to forget a lot of things during the show, there is an NBC article where was Brian Herta quoted in this article?
Brian Herta, yeah, there's some drama. That's one of the great things about this race. Not only was the on-track action great,
but what camera you're looking at? There you go.
I'm trying to read at the same time, dude. Come on. Give me a break.
What's up,
here.
Kenny?
I want to rant. Richie rant. Come on, Richie.
Go ahead.
Not
Sorry.
today. I'm trying. Get me off track.
Flow.
I'm trying to focus here. Okay. I'm trying to read at the same time. Anyway, so the on-track action was great. Look at you, Map TV and YouTube folks. The on-track action was great, but the drama off-track was even better because we had the interview with David Malukas, which was great with NBC. Very emotional after the race. He had a chance to win that race. Was leading the race for a little bit. And ended up crashing out of the race, unfortunately, a track that he really, really enjoys. But Brian Herta entered the conversation in this interview with NBC Sports and was calling out people in the paddock. I'm going to read directly from NBC here. He says, Herta confirmed that there remains a contingent of the IndyCar paddock that believe that there are inequities in how the races are officiated. This despite the fact that earlier this year, IndyCar disqualified Newgarden from the victory in the season-opening Firestone Grand Prix. It's a growing feeling in the paddock, Brian Herta said. Maybe I'm the first one to say that, but it's what people feel. If Colton deserved a penalty, other ones certainly should have been a penalty. That's my whole point. Colton blocked Linus. That's fine. They gave him a penalty. Fine. But how do you not penalize the guy that checked up the whole field and caused a crash? Yeah. How is that not worse?
Stir that pot, Brian. Stir that pot.
Well, that and frankly, Will Power, love Will Power, but it looked like he pitched off David Malukas, causing Malukas to tag the wall and out the race. It's really, you're going to penalize Herta for that? Crasher, one last thing. Fan favorite Connor Daly running for, was it Juncos Hollinger Racing,
yes,
right?
This is Juncos Hollander, yes.
Juncos. This is still a weird deal of the former driver leaving due to
Augustin Canapino.
Issues of social media death threats and that madness, right?
It is a weird deal, but I believe, is this the clip you're going to play, that Connor said, hey, he was great up until the day that he left and went back home to Argentina.
Right.
So, yeah, it kind of is what it is.
Connor Daly running for Juncos Hollinger Racing through the end of the season had a hell of a race car and exited the race. No fault of his, but talking about running with a new
Everyone
team.
here is awesome. And even Augustine, I mean, he was on my podcast. Like I talked to him this week. Like he's all good. We're fine. Like everyone's cool. I think it was just time that they wanted to go, a different route to try to get some points. And he's obviously racing back down in Argentina already. So like, it's just one of those things that sometimes, the sport has to go, go another way. So yeah, well, everyone's great. Everyone is very, very supportive here. A lot of people that I know and I've known for a long time. So it's a great, and they're very helpful.
And to get a driver that you want to see succeed. He's so good for the sport. Has a popular podcast. Go ahead, Stat.
Marshall Pruitt did a great little piece on Connor Daly meeting Leandro, and I can't remember his last name. The kid when Daly drove for Huckelsholiger and won the Star Mazda championship on the road to Indy. I think it was 2011. Now the kid is the assistant race engineer, talks to him all the time, giving him instructions. It's a great little, I don't know, 5-6 paragraphs. But
all right, we got a break.
Piece of Marshall Pruitt.
We got a break. Coming up next.
See, all our fans are out tonight. I hope they appreciated that ass kicking. And I know you love me.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
Summer is finally here. Cookouts, pool parties, and rising gas prices. Time to start using Lucas Fuel Treatment. Lucas Fuel Treatment improves mileage, increases power, and lowers emissions. It's a virtual tune-up in a bottle. Just pour it directly into the tank for a dramatic improvement in the performance of your vehicle. Good for gas and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. Get it now at your local auto parts store.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Dragging your knee at 100 miles per hour. Doing a double jump with some extreme flair. If you're into two-wheel racing, make a standing date for Tuesday night on MAV TV. Two-Wheel Tuesday will showcase the world's best motorcycle racers on the most challenging tracks. Whether it's the treacherous high-speed ballet of road racing or the handlebar-to-handlebar combat of the dirt arenas, MAV TV has your two-wheel fix every week on Two-Wheel Tuesday.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
This segment brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com. Check out a line of products, Freak Nation, to keep all of your rides fat and happy. That's lucasoil.com. Proud partners of the Freaks for over 2 decades. That's lucasoil.com. Scott Bloomquist. A lot of people regard him as the GOAT, the greatest of all time on dirt, especially the Lucas Oil 8 model series as well. He did it for decades. Lost his life on Friday. So we figured, why not? A dude that knew him quite well was our friend Chris Blair, General Manager, Vice President of Worldwide Technology Raceway. He joins us now in the Freak Nation. And Chris, can you turn your damn phone sideways?
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Out of the gate. Gosh almighty, man. Holy smokes.
What? Come on.
It's big time TV, man. Now just leave it there. Hold on. What the hell do you got? You got an iPad that your
I'm
kids
doing it off my cell phone, okay? I didn't want to have to go back into the office this evening to do this. So.
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
Well, I left my laptop at the track after the race last night because I said I'm not going to open my laptop today. So you're getting me on a cell phone. So live
All
with
right.
it, okay?
Well,
I'll do better next time.
We want to talk about Bloomquist a little bit with you, but before we get into that, congratulations on a highly entertaining race Saturday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Crasher was reading off the number of passes. It was just bananas. I don't know what you did to that track. IndyCar did to that track, what they did with the cars, but man, was that fun.
That was all Jay Fry and the competition guys at IndyCar. The new hybrid package, given that extra 150 horsepower, or whatever that is, and then the downforce. I think they said they had 1,000 pounds more downforce on the cars for this year's race than we've ever had before. So that was what it was all about. And I was talking to Graham Rahal after he blew up. He came up in the area where I was watching the race, and he didn't even want to leave the track because it was such a good race. And he was telling me some of the things, how the cars were driving differently. And it was an amazing show. So whatever IndyCar did, I told Jay Fry, I texted him while the race was going on. I said, this is like watching a sprint car race that just keeps going and going and going, for 260 laps with all the dive moves and everything. So this is a credit to Jay Fry and the guys at IndyCar for pulling this one off. We just, hopefully we can market how great the racing is in IndyCar now, and hopefully the right folks will run with that, and we can let the on-track product speak for itself.
How long did Graham Rahal stay up there with you, and what does he have to say about that final restart with Joseph Newgarden?
Well, actually, he left right before that final restart. But I will tell you the one great thing, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details, but I got to be backstage when they were getting ready to do the hat dance for all the drivers. And I would love to be able to buy a ticket for the Penske team meeting this week based on what I saw backstage. It was incredible. I'm like, wow. And it was an interesting post race. That was as fun as watching the race, really.
So if I'm reading it correctly on some things that I picked up on social media on Sunday, it's not just Will Power as a teammate that's upset with Joseph Newgarden. Scotty Mack is a little upset as well, right?
Well, I know he was about 20 minutes after the race when they were getting ready to go out on stage together. It was amazing. So I thought there for a minute we might have a throwdown. But it was good. It was great.
I figured that you would already have a T-shirt out of Will Power saying, Worldwide Technology Raceway, home of the single bird and not the double bird.
That's awesome.
Chris, yes, awesome. Do that.
We may have to do that. We will look into that one for sure. That's awesome.
You'll have to open your laptop, though, to get that done, Chris Blair.
Next time, I promise I'll have the laptop at the house. I'll bring it home every day. Sorry.
So just a reminder, though, before we move on to Scott Bloomquist, and I am so excited to hear some of your stories about him because he just was a larger than life personality. But real quick, to remind IndyCar fans and race fans in general, IndyCar is now your June race. So people get your tickets.
Now. June 14th and 15th, I already have tickets on sale. We've got a $33, $66, and $99 special. So every budget. So buy your tickets now. We're giving the renewal process to everybody. So that's our plug.
You want to give them a discount if they mention the Statman's name?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do
it.
We'll throw in a free hot dog if mention you. How's that sound?
A hot dog for mentioning the hot dog.
That's it.
Hey, on Friday, Scott Bloomquist passed away in one of his little planes that he liked to fly around his property. And my goodness, did the motorsports world get turned on its ear with this. I frankly didn't realize. I knew the popularity of the guy. I knew what he meant to dirt racing. Never met him,
Really?
but exactly.
Yeah, how did you never meet him? I even met him.
I
I
think
interviewed him
did.
a couple times.
No, I don't. I didn't do TV for the late models like you did, Crasher. But I digress. When you see little clips like this, if this doesn't set it up perfectly for him.
To see all our fans are out tonight. I hope they appreciated that ass kicking. And I know you love me.
Oh my goodness. But little did we know that Chris Blair spent some time with Scott Bloomquist, the GOAT on dirt. And this article that you wrote back in the day, my goodness there, Chris Blair. First of all, the model, and then freaking Fabio there behind the car of Bloomquist.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was Scott. Bloomquist had eras when you look at it. You talk about the era tour. Well, Scott had eras, and there was that California era before he came back to Tennessee. This article was kind of in that phase when he was going from a regional sensation into becoming a national superstar. And he was living California while he was in Tennessee. I mean, he was different. He stood out. And at that time, Scott was really confident on the racetrack, but when you would do an interview with him, he was very quiet and reserved. That personality you saw about the ass kicking, that hadn't come out yet. Scott was just sort of getting his confidence at that time, but he was delivering the ass kicking throughout the area where I grew up. So that's how I got to know Scott. Is 1985. This is telling you how old I am. 1985, going over to Kingsport, Tennessee, to watch this guy we've been hearing about. Who I think he won 25 out of 27 races that year at Kingsport. He was just really was amazing. Our local promoter for Mountain Motor Speedway, a guy by the name of Lucian Hall, he started giving Scott a little bit of gas money to come over and race for our people. It was a 90-minute drive, really, or about 2 hours from Scott's shop. So he started racing in our area. And that 1987 season, 86, 87, he was becoming a force on our local track. And that was about the same time that I started my career as a racing journalist and working for some local papers, regional racing papers, and got to know Scott and was covering him. My first World 100 was Scott's first World 100. The only person I knew there to talk to was really Scott, and he wins the race that first year, which was unheard of. And I was the only guy that was even talking to him or even thinking about him being a contender to win the race, and he won the biggest race of them all his first time out. And we had a really good relationship. And when Dick Berggren wanted to do this story for Stock Car Magazine, David Allio, who's helped me out throughout my career, he was going to be the photographer. And there was a choice on who was going to be the rider. And Scott said, "Hey, I want to give Blair a chance here. He's covered me. I know that he'll give the story justice." And a big part of this too is Scott was way advanced over everyone else. He let us go into the shop, both Allio and I go in there, take photos of the car, give details about his setup. And the story turned out it was a big moment for me in my career, because I used that to make other connections and advance. And for Scott, that magazine came out in the July of 1991, right before the Summer Nationals, and everywhere you went, it's like he was elevated to rock star status at that point. He was selling T-shirts like crazy. Everybody wanted to beat him, and that was really a launching point for his career. And in the end, it really helped me with mine as well.
Well, we got about a minute and a half. Chris Blair, again, Vice President, General Manager, Worldwide Technology Raceway, partners of the Freak Nation. And yeah, the loss of Bloomquist isn't lost on many of us here in motorsports. Quickly, Chris, do you know why why did Scott Bloomquist never make it in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Because there were some things that occurred that in Scott's throughout his career, there was a lot of things that had happened that went down that he was later accused of, but it was later cleared of. I think that was a big part of it. And I think Scott was just a little bit too far out there on some of these things. But another part of it was Scott wasn't going to bring the sponsor to the race. Scott was the product, and Scott was not going to go out and find his own sponsors to go buy a ride. He was waiting for the opportunity to come to him. But you know what? See, I saw him in his first ask.
Hey, Blair, say goodbye.
All right, guys.
Blair, say goodbye, but we'll pick it up again, buddy. Okay.
All right, man.
More of this on social media. You got good stories.
All right.
Christopher Blair, of course, General Manager, Vice President, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Statman with Blair over there on your corner. Shoulder. Shoot the juice to the moose. And what was that?
Cut it loose.
See you, Freak Nation.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway is not just a race. It's a spectacle. Friday, August 16th and Saturday, August 17th. The race everyone talks about. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Only at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Go to WWTRaceway.com now because the first deal is the best deal. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Discover Downstate Illinois.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
You're listening to